for
or
her.
an author.
But she actually inspired, because I've been working on this song that I finished today. I started it in May and I finished it today, and she inspired the last verse. It's pretty fun. She's cool. I'm a keeper. I know I said that last time, but I'm still gonna keep her. You never know. There are days where you just won't.
They're all right sometimes.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Like my son, I love my son, but when he cries, I mean, it sounds like a cat in an alley.
Oh.
And I'm like, how can something I love so much
sound
make
like death?
Such a horrible sound.
See, Rosie doesn't really cry.
Well, she's only 8 months.
Well, but she's also really, like, she's never really cried, though. She's a good baby. She's just she wakes up, smile on her face, has been sleeping through the night since she was 3 months. Like, she's just a solid kid.
Live Tonight with Bri.
I'm not
about that, Mitchell.
on there yet, am I? Okay, good.
Huh? Yeah.
See, it's live.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Now I know. That's great.
Okay. 3 minutes. Start whenever
People start tuning in. They're like, I don't hear anything. Is it working?
Oh, that's terrifying.
It's like the ballerina ball all over again.
Aw. People were doing that?
Is the sound working? No. It actually went really, really smooth.
I got to see it after the
Really
fact.
smooth.
Yeah, I had a show last night, so I didn't get to watch it while it was live, but I went back and I watched it.
You saw the replay?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
That was
it
an
went,
awesome production.
It went really smooth. I felt like I was telling Scott's wife. I said I felt like I was in junior college again, like because I was in theater, you know.
Yep.
And I took a semester of theater, and I did the audio. I was the audio engineer for the production. And
Okay.
And I was like, that's what I felt like, because you know Ray's over here, you know, trying to figure out the input and the output on the laptop, and I'm trying to make sure that the levels are right on the mixer, you know, with the microphones, the monitors, and that's what it felt like. It felt like a big theater production.
So why do you call him Ray? I was wondering that.
That's how we know him. He used to play in a metal band, and back then everybody knew him we knew him as Ray.
Oh.
And I don't remember at what point he changed it. He was actually our first guest on this podcast.
That's cool.
And he's like podcast pro, and I don't remember if he actually went into it going from Ray to Diggs, or where that came from. I don't even know if we asked him, but we probably should have.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we know him as Ray. So Ray Diggs, same thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know. We had been linked on Facebook for a while, but I didn't make the connection that it was Diggs, because I thought it was just Ray. I had no idea.
No, I love Ray.
Okay. He's very sweet.
He's great, yeah.
He's super sweet.
Oh, so last night, and it was just improv, where the production was over, you know, everybody did the group shot, and we're about to break down, and they're like, you got your stuff in the car? You want to play a few songs? And he's like, hell yeah.
I saw pictures of that. Yeah,
and
that's cool.
He hooked everything up, and I think his wife brought him his iPad, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think he played for probably another hour after the production was done, and they were having the after party. Yeah, that was really cool.
That is really cool.
He's a sweetie.
He is. Those iPads save lives, huh?
They do. They really do. Hey guys, we're live. Thank you for being here, Bri.
Yeah,
appreciate it. This is great. We got Mitchell Gruich, the Croatian sensation, to my left.
Oh.
I think 1 week it was actually the Croatian situation.
Well,
but
aren't we all?
We'll go with sensation this week.
Yeah, it's good.
But there's two Croatian sensations this week, because we have Bri.
That's right. That's right. You're fully Croatian. Is that correct?
For the yeah, that's what I claim. I claim my Croatian.
We'll get into some lineage here, but you're also going to play some acoustic songs for us, right?
Some originals.
Really? Are you going to play any covers too? Some Beatles, some Green Day, something like that?
Maybe not some Green Day, but I'll play some stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Hell yeah. All right. Well, we'll get into it. Episode 6 in the books.
This is our fancy
By the way, let's get a look at Mitchell. Look at this dude.
I wore a suit and a bow for tonight, since Bri informed us that she likes to drink wine, and
I do.
And I said, well, you know what? I'll drink the
out of a goblet.
I'll drink the whiskey out of a wine glass goblet. I've already spilled it, so gotta savor this one.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I forgot to put my jacket on.
It's okay. You're fancy now. That's all that matters.
My $9,000 sports coat.
This is also our first podcast where we have a live performance,
which is cool.
That's
very cool. I'm honored.
That's planned. That not in improvised, but yeah, you are our official first.
That's really cool.
So tell me, do you play shows around here? Like, what do you do? What do you usually play? I don't know.
I have a regular standing gig on Wednesdays at the Field. Normally do from 7 to 10, sometimes earlier, sometimes later, depending on, at least for end time, depending on the crowd, because it's a Wednesday. You never know. So
you
it's
play
fun though.
You play all Wednesdays?
Yep, every Wednesday.
Really?
It's fun. It's a good time.
People
respond well to it.
Okay.
I hope.
Yeah.
From what they tell me, unless they're lying, but I think it's all right. I think it's a fun time. I love the bartenders there. Taylor, he's manager there. He's awesome. We got it hooked up about 2 months ago now. I've been playing there regularly. It's really fun.
Cool. Good.
It's a good time.
Do you have any recordings? Have you recorded yet?
So I have some home studio type recordings from 2017. Those are up on my Bandcamp, but my sound now is very different to what that is. And as far as like video recordings that I've done just at home with my mobile device or whatever, I do have a couple of those. They're on my turnaround page on Facebook.
What's your Bandcamp?
My Bandcamp has changed a couple of times.
Uh-oh.
My stage name actually changed about 6 months ago. Yeah, so I had a completely different alias. I used to go as the Indigo Baby, but then I had a baby, and I was like, might not fit. So I changed it to the Turnaround. And yeah, so I started out on SoundCloud, like, a lot of people, I guess, do, or a lot of people did whenever I was doing it back in 2016, 2017. And yeah, I just had a kind of rediscovered my sound whenever I moved back here and started really throwing myself into music again, which has been awesome. I think the past year has really taught me a lot about what I want to do with it, and it's cool. But you can look me up on Bandcamp by typing in the search bar the Turnaround Proposal, and I should pop up pretty much immediately. I have about 4 tracks on there.
Do you plan on, or have you ever, or do you want to play with a band, or are you strictly solo?
Yeah, so we actually do have a new group called Fun K Getaway, and it's real fun. We do funk-inspired covers, and it's awesome. We actually played a show last night at Felix's. We were there 6 to 9, and we had a double encore, which was pretty cool, really decent. But yeah, we just like playing. We have a fun time, and we want everybody else to have a fun time. And it's fun. It's Fun K Getaway. Like that's our whole MO, is just being there, loving each other, and
Felix Oyster Bar in Gulfport?
Yep.
Really?
Right off the beach.
I was just there the other night. I had a weird experience. I told you about it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Mitchell, go ahead.
So how did you get started?
Oof. So
and I wanted to start with that question because I should also say this is how we came to know Bri, is because of the ballerina.
Yeah.
The epilepsy benefit we did, and you were the first person for us to record that day. And like I was telling Phil, I was like, as soon as you started singing, I was like, holy shit!
That's awesome.
This is if you're gonna have anybody on your show, you need to have.
That's really sweet.
Her. And and I remember at the dance school you had said, "Oh, I've had this guitar since I was 16 years old."
Yeah.
So I thought, well, tell us all about that.
Okay, cool. It actually goes back a little bit further. Do you want the beginning?
Yeah, wherever you want to start.
Okay. Well, vocally, that started really early. Yeah.
The doctor pulled me out.
Well, I don't even remember that far back. But vocally, I started really young. I guess it was when I was little. My grandfather had this room in the back den of their house, and he had like record store amount of vinyl collection. I mean, it was amazing. I used to listen to records with my dad when I was really little. And I think that really, and it was mostly movie soundtracks because that's what my grandfather was big on. He really liked the old Western John Wayne movies, and the soundtracks were always something that really inspired him. My dad still does the same thing. He's really big on movie soundtracks. And then I've always just loved music. I've always loved singing. When I was really little, elementary school, I was in choirs, did solos for the Christmas plays and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't figure out that I wanted to do more contemporary stuff until probably about 7th, 8th grade, around that time, just because I really wanted to do something that wasn't just choral music. It wasn't just like the, I guess you could say, church ballad songs where you were in a big choir.
I wanted to ask you about your vocal training, or was it more choir, like from the school or church, or?
So I did choir all throughout elementary school, middle school, and then my first semester of high school I did it. And then I didn't really enjoy choir as much anymore. It's just not something that I really wanted to do. I wish now, looking back, that I would have done it. I feel like my voice could be eons beyond what it is now. Just because I didn't have that everyday repetition of really just flexing those chords. But I did have a beautiful, wonderful vocal coach. Her name's Kathy Smith. She was the choral director at Gaucher High School for a while. I mean, she really shaped the program to what it is today. And I owe a lot of my ability to her, and just to what she's taught me about letting everything just be, not holding on so tight, and just really doing it because I love it. So she has a lot to do with that. And that's pretty much the basis of my vocal training. After that, I didn't really do anything apart from listening to jazz in the car, like jazz standards, and just doing vocal runs. It's what I do now. I just listen to jazz and come up with stuff. No, not anymore. I don't do that anymore. I probably should.
I kind of wish I would have, been in choir or band.
It's fun.
I always wanted to be in band.
I did do band.
Yeah, I didn't get to be in band. And I don't think they probably would have let me
in
choir.
You could have been in pit in band.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's what I did.
I think one of the things I had inquired about was they would let you in if you could read music, and I couldn't, so
I can't.
It was like past the point of no return. You know.
Yeah, I get that.
Just make a bunch of noise.
Yeah.
What's your process for like writing songs? Do you come up with songs on the acoustic first?
They've all been different. So sometimes I'll listen to instrumental tracks on Spotify, just what people put out, produce themselves, and it will inspire lyrics, and then I'll just go from there. And I have to like repeat the song over and over and over again till I'm done. Like for 2 of my songs that I have, that was the process. Another process was just sitting on it or thinking of a lyric and then writing it down as fast as I can, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
I have the hardest time remembering a verse. I mean, especially if I don't have it right then and there. But I am very specific about where I write them down. I don't have it with me today because I recently just moved all of my songs into a new book. But I've had my same book that I've written songs in since 7th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I should have brought it because
That's cool.
It was cool. But there are a couple songs in there that I had written with my friends that are just fun to look back on. And they're like these metalhead friends that were just wanting to write songs. We used words like derision and like it was kind of goofy. But
would you ever be in a metal band?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I loved metal music all throughout middle school, high school.
As a singer or as a guitarist?
Ooh, probably no. Metal guitarists are so beyond. It's insane.
I
can't do that.
We can hook that up.
Yeah?
We know some people.
Fun. Yeah. I mean, I think I've got the
I feel like you have the voice to where if you were in a metal band, like part of the show would be setting up glasses with water, and you would hit those pitches,
and
then they would shatter, and that would be like the beginning of the set, right?
Okay, that's kind of
getting glass in their eyes, going, "This is the best show ever."
They'd have to have like an EMT on standby.
All their eyes are bleeding while they're watching you sing.
That's the goal, right, for metal musicians? Make people's eyes bleed.
The ultimate metal show.
Yeah, exactly.
What type of metal bands are you listening to?
Really, like Cannibal Corpse, Slayer, that kind of stuff.
Are you kidding
like
me?
Old school stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not up to date on the newer stuff, and I haven't listened to it probably in about 2 years. I was big into it in high school, though.
But you'll rock some like Deicide, Cannibal Corpse.
Oh yeah, I totally could.
That's sick,
yeah,
dude. That's
given the
awesome.
right preparation, I could do it. It'd be fun.
I slam some Cannibal Corpse every now and then still. Holy crap. Oh man, I just can't wear the shirt. I have a shirt. It's I forget what album, but I can't wear it because my mom will see it, and it's pretty gruesome.
Yeah,
it's really bad. I think it's Butchered at Birth
with the crucifix.
Yeah, it's bad. My mom does not like it.
Okay.
She's not gonna.
Yeah, no, not in the deep south. That's hard.
Yeah, I wear that. That's my house shirt.
Yeah,
you gotta wear that at night. Do you wanna do a song?
Yeah,
let's
totally
do a song.
can.
Let's do a song.
Okay.
And we'll make sure the levels are all good. I think they will be. Let me unmute your guitar here.
Yeah, you might want to mute our mics too.
Oh well. Is this off the first album of Cannibal Corpse?
Yes. Whenever y'all are ready.
You have the floor.
Awesome. I don't know what to do. I need you here next to me. I don't know why we fell through, but I never wanted to leave you in the crossfire or leave you behind. I just wanted to inspire. I can't get you off my mind, and I'm sitting here waiting for you to come home. And I'm wondering what I did to make you feel so alone. And I want you to tell me every single thing I did wrong, so you'll come right back home to me. I don't know where to go. I need you here by my side. I don't know why we moved so slow when I just wanted to dive into your open arms, head first and free. I never meant to do you harm. Now the fault lies with me, and I'm sitting here waiting for you to come home. And I'm wondering why you always made me feel so alone. And I want you to reconcile for everything you did wrong, so you'll realize why I made you go. thank you. I appreciate that.
Still muted.
I love how small your face looks on the camera.
I'm sorry, I backed up. I got comfortable. I apologize. Let me scoot up. I'm sorry. That was pretty.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thanks.
Oh my God.
I appreciate that.
Yes. I wanna play that while I'm giving my dog a bath so he'll calm down. You know what I mean? Chill out. That was nice.
It might work.
So talk about the guitar. I was trying to get into the you were talking about, writing songs 8th grade, and then some point you get the guitar. And
I got my first guitar in 3rd grade, and I got it from Santa Claus, supposedly. And I still have that one, actually. It's not an acoustic electric, so I don't gig with it because I don't have the adapter to be able to do that. But I got this one when I was in 10th grade. It was for my 16th birthday. It was something that my parents went in on together for.
Right on.
And it's the only guitar that I've written my songs by myself with.
Do you feel a connection with that guitar?
I would say so. I get nervous when people touch it, so probably. I've never really thought about it, but most likely
I have a guitar like that.
Yeah.
I have a Epiphone and that I got.
Those are nice.
It was like the first electric guitar that I bought, for myself, from a pawn shop for $200.
Yeah.
And whenever I play it, I just, I can generate music, songs, material.
Yeah.
Just instantly connect with finding that. And I don't know what it is. You pick up a different guitar and it's you kind of have to.
You get nervous
you
about it a little bit. Yeah.
With trying to figure out
it's not warm.
What you're going for. But if I pick up that Epiphone, it's,
yeah.
Man, I could just sit there and it's so much easier to just create.
Yeah, I get that. I actually have an Epiphone ukulele. It's an electric acoustic. It's pretty cool. I love that thing. I've written a song on that too, but it's not it's just a throwaway fun song.
I love ukuleles. They're the best.
They're cool.
Crap. Oh man, so pretty.
You like that Somewhere Over the Rainbow song?
By
Israel Kamiko.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher the name, but he's great.
That's so we listened to a toddler radio station in the car when taking the kids to
naturally
driving the kids around, and that song plays 20,000 times.
I'm sure.
On that station, on that Pandora station.
R.I.P.
I have to skip it now.
He passed away. He passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh, it's so sad.
They're
gonna still play a song. Why? You don't have to listen to the toddler station. You can just play regular music for the children, right?
That's what I do.
You don't understand.
Well, they're accustomed to it.
They're
because you play it for them. They won't know if you don't
it's not an
play
accustomed
them, right?
thing. Okay.
I'm actually intrigued by this because I have an 8-month-old. So.
Right. So my kids are 2, one's about to be 4, and in the mornings they go to daycare, and it is traumatizing for them to wake up and have to go to daycare. They don't want to go, okay, and they don't want to eat breakfast. They don't want to have to put their clothes on. They don't want to have to get in the car. So it's doing all of these things, as opposed to just staying home and hanging out with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Which is what happened during COVID. For several months, when
became the norm.
So now, going back to daycare every day, they, cry and it's a meltdown and they don't want to go or they want to go see grandma and, so once they're in the car and they're crying, you put the toddler Pandora station on and a Disney song will hit and they're like, it's Frozen, and then everybody chills out.
Oh, okay.
And then we get at least long enough to get to the daycare, and then it starts all over again when you get to the door.
It's like if you could have the button to play Pandora in their brains.
Right.
Maybe just
But for
that
15-minute drive down the beach
nice.
Listening to Elsa it's okay. I can sit there and drink my coffee and concentrate on driving and arrive safely.
Yeah, exactly. No, I get that.
Well, back in my day, my mom just got a belt and whipped our legs.
Oh, that's terrible. Actually. Wow.
She just whooped us, and we were like, okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
Pepper said that you can sing about 800 times better than him, and that song was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
How nice.
Thank you.
How nice was that? Do you want to do another one?
Yeah,
Let's
I can.
do another one.
Yeah. This one I actually wrote this year. And let's see if I can. I miss you in the summer when everything is said and done. I wish you would remember the times we spent with everyone. In the poppy field you go to sleep and dream a little dream of me. Until the day you're not dreaming, you'll forever see my grace and beauty. I wanna hear you laughing at all the silly things I say. But if I see you grasping, I'll walk away, make no mistake. In rooms and bars and concert halls, I hope you find your way. But white powdered lines and bathroom stalls are sure to make you fade. With every season's passing, your memories of me will fade. And even when the moon is waxing, your want to love will always wane. At every morning sunrise, I hope you look to me. You know I search for your eyes in every pair I see. You know I search for your eyes in every pair I see.
Woo!
Thanks.
Let's get into a little bit culture here. Let's talk about because I really want to ask you what's it like being a mom and working and juggling these musical acts, because you're in a funk band and you have a solo band. You have multiple projects. Tell us about it, because
it can be difficult, but so her dad, my boyfriend, he actually is also in a band down here, Blackwater Brass, and he's also in 2 other projects. It's pretty crazy. He has the same type of schedule where he's constantly being pulled in all these different directions, but he and I are in the funk band together. So that's really the only time that we have to worry about getting a sitter and making sure that she has someone to watch her, because I plan my gigs around his stuff and he plans his stuff around my stuff. So it's kind of like a first come first serve. Whoever gets booked first is kind of who gets it, unless we just want to both do it, and then we hire a sitter. But we have people, it takes a village, you know. I mean, we have people in our corner that are super willing to help us. They're very helpful. His parents are watching tonight. And my mom,
shout out to the Gramps.
I know, right? And then my mom watched last night. We have a regular babysitter who, she's not regular, but she's our go-to.
Right.
She's pretty amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult, but
it takes a lot to orchestrate.
It does. It takes a lot more planning than I realized, especially now. Because he works construction also. So he has a lot on his plate too, but then he also works 40 plus hours a week. Thankfully, I only work 11 hours a week. So it's a little bit more manageable, just because I do have more free time to kind of orchestrate these things, to make them happen, just so that she's taken care of. Because that's my first priority, is that like she's good. So if there's ever a situation where I can't do a gig because we can't find someone, I'm like, you know what? Cool, I can play to my kid. That's awesome. Because she does love it. She loves when I play to her, which is fun. But it definitely has its challenges. It's something I didn't realize I would have to face as much whenever I was still pregnant with her. Because when I was pregnant, I was doing open jams and jumping on stage with people until I was about 6 months pregnant. And it was fun. It was a good thing. But like staying up late on like a Sunday night at Juke Joint, getting up to do an open mic until 4 a.m, 6 months pregnant. Like that probably wasn't the best idea, but it was fun, and it was a great place to really just cut my teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you feel like it keeps you balanced? Because it's such a challenge. I mean, I know even for myself, to hang out with this guy.
Yeah.
You have to, thank God for grandparents for one.
That's true.
My
Some people aren't so lucky.
My wife's grandmother, she's a saint.
My grandmother watches whenever I go to work, and she is a godsend. It's crazy. She's in her 70s, and she still kicks it like she's 40. she's a firecracker, and she's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and the family, the people that you surround yourself with, to allow you to be able to continue this. It's almost you need to do this to be able to balance, the sanity with having all these other obligations and response. I think it was one of the first podcasts we were doing, and we were talking about all the things that you have to do, or going back to what we were talking about before the podcast started tonight, the musicians who are not parents versus the musicians
it's different.
Who are.
Yeah.
I find myself getting along way more easier with musicians who are parents than, the young blood that doesn't have kids.
See, I'm still young blood, and so I do.
You're the best of both worlds.
I am the best of both worlds. I get along. One of my best friends, she's also a local musician down here. Her name's Amber Dawn. I'm going to plug that because I think she's great.
Yeah, she is great.
She's amazing.
She is great.
And she's one of my best friends, and she's one of the most understanding people that I know when it comes to Rosie. Like, she'll eat brunch with us, and a lot of my friends that I had before I had Rosie, like friends that were down for hanging out when I was pregnant, realized that they might not be as down when I had a baby, which is, I get that. Like, I totally understand, because I didn't realize how having a baby would impact me in such a big way. And it does change the things that you can do with people.
Let me ask you this. So, this was something I experienced, but once since Sylvia is only 8 months old, have you experienced a separation in your network, in your social network, where the people, once you have the child, they kind of okay, she's not going to be able to hang out with us to 2 or 3 in the morning, and so they kind of back off a little bit?
It's not I think before I was just a lot more willing to go do those things because I didn't have that responsibility. And if I wouldn't have had Rosie, I feel like I probably still would be doing those things because I didn't know anything else. Nevin and I were doing that for 6 months straight, just going out, playing music almost every night of the week, into the early morning hours. It's just, especially down here, that's kind of what musicians down here do. They play together and they play till the sun comes out.
Yeah, I feel like it's a big perception, because you're the way that people see you, versus being a parent or not being a parent. It's everyone's,
Well, a lot of times, especially when it comes to the crowd, people don't know that you have kids unless you make them known that you have kids. But associating with other musicians who are in our circle, a lot of them have children too. So they can kind of they can relate, especially with the Fun K group. Most of us have children. I think there's only 2 of us in the group that don't have any kids, and there's 6 of us total. So it's a good balance though, because they're very understanding of what we have going on and our responsibilities. And I feel like for the most part, the musicians around here are respectful towards it, but there is kind of that separation of responsibility, because some people don't have anything to go home to take care of. It's a different type of world whenever you get home.
He has a dog.
I have a dog. I have a beautiful dog,
which also counts as a child.
I fill his bowl up once a day with $90 dog food.
Oh yeah.
And I put artesian water in his bowl.
He takes some.
You put what in his bowl? What kind of water?
Artesian water. Is that how you say it?
He takes them to the beach every week.
That's so sweet.
And posts his pictures of it.
I love my dog.
It's a cute dog.
I love my dog. I don't have kids. So since your dad's watching, let's do another song.
Okay. Oh, is he watching? Oh,
absolutely he is.
Cool. That's awesome.
I didn't just say that.
Shout out to Pops.
Hey, Dad.
And the guitar from Pops.
That's great.
Yeah.
Pops and Mom.
There's no sunshine. There's no blue skies when you're not around, when you're in the clouds, and when you're feeling down. There's no birds singing. There's no retreating when the war is on and we are armed with battle scars. They're on our arms. It's almost over. You're gone, I'm sober. It's driving me insane, with nothing on my brain but all your pain I can't take away. Your words, they break me. Your voice escapes me when you're feeling blue. It's 'cause of you that I am through with all you do. There's no sunshine. There's no blue skies, 'cause you're not around when you're feeling down. Now you're in the clouds.
So just jumping into it.
Yeah.
What's that song about?
So I wrote this in 2017, and one of my friends inspired it. You know, it was just, we were really young and he was going through a hard time, and it just inspired the song. And that one's called Cloud 9. That one's actually on my Bandcamp.
The other ones you performed tonight too, we didn't really get to hit on them.
Yeah.
But what was the subject matter or the inspiration for the ones you played earlier?
They're all really similar. A lot of friends inspire them. A lot of, you know, past heartbreaks, heartaches, that kind of thing. Just really the norm, but it's mostly friends. Friends are a really big inspiration for my content. I feel like when I don't have experiences to pull from, I can pull from them without giving away like who they are, and just be able to really not really use them, but like use my experiences with them. So it's still part of me, but it's just like a different type of telling. It's more of a narrative telling of my experiences with people.
And this is, I mean, this is quite the contrast to the funk band.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And you know, the funk band, I feel like I was telling you, I felt like, you know, you and, you know, Blackwater Brass on a bill together is, you know.
That'd be cool. But again, it's the original thing though, because we're still doing the.
But eventually.
Eventually, that'd be cool.
You know.
That'd be cool.
Or,
but,
you know, next week would be cool too, but
yeah,
it doesn't have to be all originals, but like you guys are synonymous, you know, to me, you know, for. But
they're very well established too. So they've been going at it for 5, almost 6 years now, I think. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot more experience on their end. Not like the musicians we play with, they're very experienced. They've been doing it for a long time.
I would say,
but as a collective,
all the experiences within Gary Cooper, right?
Gary Bubba. Oh
Let me tell you something about Gary Cooper. I saw the guy last night.
Gary Cooper is the man.
Did you?
I partied with Gary Cooper.
He's the sweetest.
Me and Gary Cooper got down.
Oh, I believe that.
Okay.
Where'd y'all go?
Juke joint.
Oh no.
We were at the juke joint. Yeah, we partied.
Gosh.
It was bad.
Poor Gary.
My buddy DJ Rocco was DJing, and
I haven't seen him in forever.
What do you know about DJ Rocco? Let's
that
talk
he's
about
the
that.
sweetest.
He's
very
DJing
sweet.
every weekend.
Do you know
His wife?
Do you know his wife?
I've seen them there multiple times. They said wonderful things to me when they realized who I was with.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about that guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay.
So once upon a time, I used to deliver and repo furniture.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm successful now. He worked with me.
Okay.
doing
Very
that
cool.
for close to 2 years, and the battles that we went through in that job, and I'm gonna say this because I'm probably gonna send this to him afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
He would bring his laptop in the truck, and we'd go repo some furniture from some vagrants that wouldn't pay their bill. It was a rough job. We'd be taking 80-inch TVs out of vagrants' houses. It was bad. And he would bring his laptop. I'm like, what are you doing with that laptop?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, dude, I'm going to be a DJ.
That's cool.
I'm like, dude, the market's so saturated.
No, he's good.
Let me tell you something. I play drums. I'm highly successful, right? I play in my shed with my friends, and I know what I'm talking about.
This is the shed. This used to be the shed. It was this.
Yeah,
Oh.
we knocked the wall out.
That's a studio.
It's so wild because like last night, like it's like surreal seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in
doing
a
it.
packed club, and he's so good at it.
Yeah, he's the sweetest
And
too.
he's got nothing but good things to say about
Mm-hmm.
everybody. And he cussed me out. He almost fought me because I didn't say hi to him.
Aw.
You know what I mean? Like he was so mad. He caused a scene. It was insane. But no, Rocco's. I love the guy.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Like if he called me and said, "Hey, I need you to empty my bank account, your bank account for me because I need help," I'd do it.
That's cool. Those are people that are really hard to come by.
Yeah, he's one of my guys. I just love him.
How did you get caught up in a funk band?
Ooh.
You've always listened to funk. You always
No.
loved funk, and the funk brought you together. And
So when I was younger, my dad was a big Luther fan. My uncle's also a big Luther fan, Luther Vandross. But I don't know. It was just one of those things where it had always been around me, but I never really paid much attention to it. So
from the videos I saw, you're just a singer, right?
Yeah.
And then
which is cool because that's
right.
I'm definitely not as skilled a guitar player as I am a vocalist. I feel I'm working on it. I'm definitely trying to, grind my teeth and really just play play well. But with that, it's cool. I think what really inspired me was getting back into the music scene, because I went to 2017 was the last time I really touched music, and then I moved back down here, and then beginning of 2019 is when I actually started doing open mics, getting back into open jams, that kind of stuff. So I took about 2 years off of playing music entirely. I didn't really write that much. I was just kind of sitting on material that I had for a couple of years, just accruing. But then I started seeing all these different people play. I started seeing people play on the downtown strip. At the time, I was living in a house in downtown Ocean Springs. And I had this old, like a massive Suburban. It was like a 1988 GMC with like the bench seats. It was a hoopty. It was fun though. But yeah, I used to just walk and see who was playing music, and I would sit in and watch, and if there was an open mic, I'd jump up. I know a couple of the people that ran the open mics. Like I went to high school with Sebastian Rayback, who used to run the open mic at Grocery whenever it was still going on, and he was always super welcoming and jovial to it. But I started doing those, and it was just fun. And then I started getting more exposure to it, just with, dating Nevin, and he's really into funk and that kind of stuff. And it just brought back all of these memories from my childhood and listening.
So it's
to
Nevin's fault that you're
it's
in
Nevin's fault.
It's Nevin's fault.
But it's a great thing, I think. I mean, he really brought back a lot of stuff from my childhood that I had forgotten that I loved. Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge Chaka Khan fan. I had completely forgotten her. Wow, she fell off my radar. Really? We actually do 2 of her songs in her set. We do Tell Me Something Good and a song called I'm a Woman. And it's not I'm Every Woman, because people think it's that song. It's not. It's called I'm a Woman. In parentheses, I'm a backbone, and it is a fun song. It is a fun K song. but it's cool. But we're just trying to add stuff like that. I mean, we're just trying to have fun, and it's more funk inspired than it is truly a funk band, because we have a mix of different things we're wanting to do with it. So there's really no labels to it yet, and I think that's the beauty of it being a new project with like a fresh mindset to it, is that we're not conscribed to any type of thing. But it's cool. We can have the funk infusion, and it's a good time.
Would you see any of your solo material going electric?
So I don't know. I mean, I would love to put a full band, or put this to a full band. I just don't know how I would want it to sound as a full band, because I'm definitely more, like, as a solo artist, I'm definitely more of like a ballad storytelling. I get a lot of my inspiration from like City and Color, more lyrically driven songs. I really like telling a story. I like setting a scene for people. I'm big on imagery.
I was gonna say your voice when you're playing your originals, it reminds me of it's to me it kind of cues this like cinematic, quality, where I could see this material being like really flushed out, like folklore,
cool.
with like folk instruments.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know if you have Irish,
I think maybe like a small percentage.
But when I hear you, I can feel it like teetering.
Actually, somebody told me a couple weeks ago at the field, they listened to one of my originals and they said, "You really remind me of this Irish folk singer from," I think it was like the 90s, early 2000s, or something like that.
Without the accent.
Right. But he sent me the album, and I've yet to listen to it.
Right.
I'm going to admit, and I
apologize
for that if you're listening. But
you got originals to write.
I'm trying. But it was really cool. I've actually gotten that a couple of times, but I really do like that kind of feel. So I'm not sure how a full band would respond to something that is so lyrically driven, because the thing with the funk band is that I really like it to be instrumentally driven. Like, I'm big on showcasing everybody. Like, I'll throw solos everywhere, even at open jams when a solo is not warranted or like even anywhere near where it needs to be. I'll just look at somebody, and if they want a solo, I'll give it to them.
I mean,
you know what I mean? And they'll just take it too. It's not like I'm giving it. They don't need my permission. But I love, like, really just musicians who primarily play their instruments get to shine. I think it's awesome.
I could definitely hear a violin.
That's cool. Yeah, I definitely I like the ballad type, soft, really subtle.
A violin and Phil's double kick pedal.
Yeah, Phil. Phil.
Look. And a couple of blast beats in there.
There we go.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Are you talking?
Yeah, well, if you don't,
I thought you were talking about Phil L'Enfant for a second.
If you don't do it, Phil, Gary Cooper's going to do it.
Yeah, Gary's definitely going to do it. But I know exactly what you're talking about. You need for these type of songs, you need somebody to sit back and let the song work.
And I was actually talking to Nevin about this yesterday, but I've realized here recently, because I used to try to cater my sets to the crowd. Like, if I was playing the field, I'd want to play more upbeat, like, hype stuff that people would want to just sit at a sports bar and relax to.
Right.
But I kind of made the decision to play what I want to play and play it in the way that I like to play it, and really just kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. And people responded so much better to that with just the authenticity, and just it's harder, I think, to be vulnerable on stage, not knowing how people will respond. But most of the time, people will respond better to it because they see that in you whenever you are just being that authentic self. Yeah, that's what people go to see, though. And that's, I think, important.
That was one of the first things I also noticed at the Ballerini Ball, which, by the way, Jenna Robinson Charities, check it out. Bri did a performance for them last night. It was broadcasted. I think it's JennaRobinson.com. But when you played your set, I noticed the covers that you played sound... your originals and your covers, you can't tell the difference because you completely consume the covers with your own style. And that was one of the things I wanted to ask you was, when you approach a cover, do you I know everyone approaches covers different. Like, some musicians are like, no, it needs to retain its integrity as it was originally
put. And that's
put.
true. That's a valid point.
And then other people, such as, the way you approach it, you just completely, take it upon yourself to, make it your own, which is beautiful.
And I used to be a purist on some of the tunes that I would play just because there are songs that, if they're not broken, don't fix them. They're just something to that straight up studio recording. But my thing is, if you have something to say and you can say it in a way that's true to your story and true to you, why not do it? Just experiment with it, because nobody's going to say, oh, that sucks. They'll be like, that's different. Whether they like it or not, they'll say that's different. And that's what I want to do. I want to impact people. And with approaching covers, I used to do, like I said, I would cater the set. So I would used to find songs that were like maybe in the early 2000s, like the top 40. I really don't do a lot of modern top 40 up until the past couple of weeks. But they...
You mean not doing a little Rihanna?
I do, actually. I do a little bit. But... yeah, I used to just try to play what I thought people wanted to hear, and I realized that they really didn't want to
shine bright like a diamond.
Hear that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Katy Perry?
I try to just make it my own. No Katy Perry.
You do well. Cheers to you with my goblet of whiskey here.
Oh, thank you.
That you do a beautiful job in breaking the covers down, because I think that's a quality. A lot of musicians, when they approach something, they're like, it's not what can I bring to the table. It's like, how can I recreate this note by note? That's their challenge. That's their goal, right? But then there's other musicians, and they say, how can I break this down to the most simplest form where I can deliver it in my own way?
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with either of them either.
I wouldn't say anything was wrong. I was just saying, I think you're a little extra something special if you can do it in your own way.
I just want to,
just shit on like 50 covers.
Yeah.
You did.
Don't want to go there. But no, I think there is a true art to being able to reproduce like a studio recording. Yeah. That's hard to do.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a lot harder to do than making it your own, because anybody can put a guitar on, sing something off key, and make it their own. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
No.
And not exactly like sing off key and it be, but
not sing off key, but like making it your own. It's like, I think, more challenging to reinterpret something that everybody already is familiar with. Like, I've heard so many covers of Bruce Springsteen, for example, right?
That's fair.
And then,
but he's classic.
Every now and then, I'll hear somebody do it, and I'm just like, oh, well, for example, I'm saying Bruce Springsteen, but like Smashing Pumpkins, on the opposite end of the spectrum, it's so hard to
you did it.
cover, that song and reinterpret it as your own, unless you break it down into I'm gonna just say, well, let's take this rock song and play it acoustic, and that's a different version.
Yeah.
It's not that. That's not what you're doing. You're taking something that's original and reinterpreting it as your original way.
That's cool.
That's what's difficult. That's the difference between an authenticity that I think in musicians.
Like making it sound like you.
Yeah, like at the Ballerina Ball, it sounded like the covers sounded like songs that you wrote, whereas compared to somebody who's just playing a Bruce Springsteen song and it sounds like you instantly know it's like Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, that's fair.
That creative flavor.
Do you know any Bruce Springsteen tunes?
I don't actually.
No.
Me either.
Not that I'll play, because I would not do a good job on those.
I know you're not going to play any covers tonight, but what do you want to talk about? Some of the covers that you played at the Ballerina Ball, and why you chose those?
Yeah, so I played Crazy, Gnarls Barkley tune, and that's actually one that goes back to juke joint jams. That was really my first fun, confident song that I would jump in on, and I just decided I wanted to turn it into something I could play at a solo gig too, because people recognize the song whether you make it your own or not. It's something, as soon as you hit the chorus, they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's what that is, that's tight. And I think it's just fun because it's one of those just get up and dance kind of tunes no matter how you play it. But yeah,
Phil used to be in a couple of cover bands.
Yeah,
I did. I was quite successful.
He was. He took it upon himself to like create banners and what else did you do? You did the stickers and he tried to take it to the next level.
Yeah, we tried. No, I played in a couple cover bands. Yeah. It was rough. It was a rough time because with the scene around here, once you get in, you're good. With certain clubs. Mm-hmm. And our goal was to do the casino circuit.
Okay, yeah.
And
they're a little tougher to get into.
Yeah, we did
Harris, from what I hear.
And did Hard Rock Center Stage a few times. But that was the extent of it. Mm-hmm. And it kind of burn out because everybody was getting drunk and drinking the whole time.
And see, that's something that I've actually realized since I got pregnant, because obviously when I was still going to shows and singing and stuff, I couldn't do that stuff. And that's a lot of the culture down here. And there's so many talented people down here. Yes. And I feel like it's just what we do, And I actually am not big into drinking, not like I can't hang like that anymore. It's crazy.
Right. It's kind of like a bubble down here. You know
it
what I mean?
Much is,
it's like you're in your own little world, and if you venture out and go to New Orleans or Mobile or out of state somewhere, mm-hmm. it's a different thing. It's a different animal.
Yeah.
And when you're here, like playing downtown Ocean Springs or whatever, it's like you're comfortable.
Yeah.
This is my experience.
Yeah.
You're comfortable.
Because you know everybody.
And you just
the same people you see every week.
You get trashed.
Well, I don't really.
Right, Mitchell?
But a lot of
so trash.
It happens. It really does happen.
Because you're like, all these guys in the crowd know me, right?
That's
and they know what I play.
We're all friends. We're all
buddies.
So
I'm not going to impress anybody here. So let's.
You talking about playing covers?
I'm talking about playing anything.
But you could, and I think that's such a misconception because there's always someone that's actually there to listen to you.
That's true.
And I think people forget that.
They do.
There are people that are there to see you play,
no
matter what the venue
yeah.
is. I feel like it's definitely important to put on your best show wherever you are.
100%. I know that now.
Yeah.
When I was 17, not so much.
Gotcha.
Not so much.
What was the goal when you were 17?
We can't talk about that.
To get ladies to impress them with your metal skills.
Yeah, and we did not. Were
there any metal ladies to be gotten?
Absolutely.
Look,
we got some ladies, right? But that's like it's pretty low quality. It was a bad thing.
You don't have a good history with metal ladies. They wreck your truck.
I have a negative.
They wreck your trucks.
-1 lady. Yeah, she's watching. So I'm just joking.
The one that wrecked your truck?
Yeah, she's dead.
Really?
No, she's not dead.
Oh my Lord.
I'm just joking.
I used to have house shows.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
In my my 20s, 30s, or whatever.
Yeah.
And
down here,
we tore up his house.
Phil's metal bands would come play.
You had them down here though?
Yeah. I lived in
off Rodenberg,
and
over by the VA.
Okay.
No, not off of Rodenberg, but over there by the VA.
It was off of Rodenberg, yeah.
And anyways, I was renting a house from my uncle, and it was an older house, so it had a huge living room, and all the bedrooms were tiny because it was made in the 70s or 50s or whatever. Anyways, I would have these house shows, and Phil's bands would come play, and the guy that played bass in my band also was in Phil's, like 2 or 3 of Phil's bands, and they'd show up and drink, and we'd have these little the living room was long enough to where the bands could set up on one side, and about like 20 people, 30 people could stand on the other side. And then one time he showed up in his like truck. He had a new truck. That's what it was. That's why I was bringing it up. Yeah, one time we had a show, and he showed up with his girlfriend in a new truck, and then like the following week or whatever, it was wrecked.
Oh no!
Brand new.
That's why he doesn't have luck with the metal girls.
Man.
It had like probably 80 miles on it.
They
like
put the metal to the pedal.
Like brand new. And then I get a call at like 5 a.m. It's like, hey, your truck is like in a right angle right now.
That's rough.
Those were the good old days, though, man. That's when we were good. We were about to get signed. It was so good. We are going to go into another song. That's what we're going to do.
What's the song about, Bri?
You got another one?
This one is actually inspired by Nevin. So it was about a dream that he had that he told me about earlier this year. No, it was about this time last year.
Like a crazy dream?
No, it was just a sweet little dream. I don't know. I liked it, so I wrote a song about it.
I had a crazy dream the other night. You can write a song about.
Okay, you got to tell me about it.
It was about robots and aliens.
I could probably find some content in there. If it's detailed enough, I can figure it out for you.
That's about all I remember.
Early morning, sheets are warm. All you're rolling, I adore. You were stirring in your sleep. When I touched you, you felt at ease, felt at ease. As you felt my booming night gaze, you awoke and pulled me close. You said you dreamt of true seduction by the universe, and you turned your cheek, turned your cheek. When I held you is when I found you, in the bed and in my dreams. When I touched you, the feeling soothed me, and I fell back to peace, back to peace. Late that morning, I made you coffee with no sugar and no cream. As you looked at the world around you, I knew then you came from my dreams, from my dreams.
Woo! So what do you think of that wine?
It's pretty good.
You like it?
It's pretty solid, yeah.
You like it? So you know, I was trying to think inclusive here, and this is a Cabernet Sauvignon, but it's bourbon barrel aged.
Okay.
So since we're drinking whiskey, it's kind of like we're all, you know,
technically semantics, yeah.
You know, there's a little bit there, but
it's a pretty bottle.
Let's do a plug. Maybe we'll get sponsored, dude.
I'll get kicked off.
No, we're not. It'll be all right. If the executives of these dudes are watching,
they're not.
lucky. They're not. They're
What? So I don't know if you saw this, but the other day I saw the guy that owns Spotify. Right? Did you see? I don't know if you see this. He owns, what is it, like 2.2 billion?
Yeah.
Right? He made 2.2 billion.
He's got a lot of money.
I think that was the number.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a little bit more accurate tonight than I was about Kobe Bryant. $2.2 billion he made, and then all of these like Tom York from Radiohead and all these other artists are just like, yeah, this dude's taking advantage of us, and they went on to say this is one of the last holdouts of the old record label system. So I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts about it? Because I know you're on Bandcamp. Are you on Spotify?
I'm not actually. Yeah, there's actually
how you feel about Spotify?
I listen to Spotify every day. For artists, I really don't have a lot of I don't have an established opinion on how it negatively or positively affects artists. I know as far as like a streaming platform goes, it gives the general public great access to it.
But as the artist, you don't really benefit.
I'm not sure. I don't know, because it's kind of hard to say, because I don't have any music on there, and I don't really talk to musicians.
I think it was like it was Taylor Swift that said, "Fuck you guys, I'm removing my whole catalog."
Yep.
Because she got like a check like something really, really low than what was expected, and it was right after that they tried to do, what is it, Tidal Wave or something? With Dre and Ice Cube and a whole bunch of other, Jack White and a whole bunch of other people signed on, and I don't think that went anywhere. But I remember that was like kind of at the same time in response to the business platform of Spotify playing millicents, because it's like 0.00194.
So it's harder to accrue any type of income off there?
You're not making pennies on the dollar at all. You're making like
fractions
on a penny. And the whole business model is based on like, well, the advertising and the people. It's like they set it up as, well, if your song's good and people like it, they'll play it a lot, and then you'll make a lot of money. But if your song's not good, then nobody's going to listen to it, and you won't have the plays to reflect that. Anyways, dude made $2.2 billion.
Yeah, and the chart of what musicians get per like 200,000 or even 2 million plays is absolutely ridiculous. Because if you sold 2 million albums in 1991, you're rich.
Right. Well, it's also a different market now, though. Like, everything's digital. I feel like a lot of people...
Which is sad.
It is sad. But I feel like a lot of people don't really... I don't even understand how people get plays, because now you make a single, it gets popular, then you book a tour. It's not like you book a tour, people come to the shows, you get popular. It's kind of like you have to have good production, you have to know people, you have to push it. And it's a lot of hard work. It's like every day hard work. But there are people that are doing it. I'm not one of those people that's there yet, so I don't really know if I could even comment on it, because I don't know enough about it. Yeah, that's true. You do. But there are people that have a slow build also, just from having a good camaraderie around them. People that are very loyal will share their posts, and I really think that's what it's about, is just friends, fans, whoever, sharing your content, so that more people,
of who
it's exposure. Yeah.
But you have to get these songs recorded and have to get them on Spotify and Apple and everything else. Like you,
I definitely want to, but I don't know if I want to record them as acoustic singles or if I want to do a full band. That's the only thing. I'm not sure how I want to
do both.
I could,
because recording acoustic for what you do. I mean, look, we got, it's 2 mics.
Yeah,
like it's simple. And we're gonna, if you were to record, like if you came in a studio and recorded with a full band, you're gonna record that anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So you're gonna have both. So just do both.
Yeah.
And then you can release like two 5-song EPs, 4-song EPs. You can do a full band, and then you can do acoustic version.
Yeah.
And you can push those in separate ways and take out a $10,000 loan and put ads behind them. And you'll be famous in no time. You'll be touring with Colby Calais in no time.
She's cool. She's amazing. She's got Colby. A beautiful voice. Angelic.
She's going to be my wife. Did you know that?
I did not.
If I meet her, I think we would vibe.
Yeah? She's really neat.
Beautiful.
She is.
Oh my God.
She's stunning.
Sorry. What do you guys have in common?
She's from California.
You're not. You're from Colorado.
I was born in Montana. I'm not from Colorado. I've never lived in Colorado. I've done that in Colorado.
It was from Colorado. Somebody was from
Nobody's
Colorado.
from Colorado. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, the point is, if you ever come in contact with somebody that has a contact with Colby Calais, hook me up because I think we would vibe. She'd be like, "Oh my God, I love your house, love your studio."
Just tweet her.
Oh my God, I haven't done that. I should do that.
You could do that. That's how a lot of love connections happen these days.
I'll take my shirt off, take a picture. We'll do it.
Just tell her everything you just said except for the last part.
I'll just send her this clip.
You could.
And then I'll sing her a song.
She'll know how sincere you are.
I just picture me and her in a hammock, like under a palm
Swinging
tree
in the Bahamas,
Long Beach, California,
drinking little umbrella drinks.
Yeah, just being like, "I'm so glad I met you. You're so special." Anyway.
All right. So what places on the coast? I know you said you're fairly new at this, but we're in a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic. We've been in a pandemic, and
people forget that.
Here you are playing. What do you say? Every Wednesday night, was it?
Every Wednesday at the field, downtown Ocean Springs.
You're playing every Wednesday night at the field in a pandemic. You know, are you wearing a mask? You're not wearing a mask. You're not worried about wearing a mask.
I definitely try to keep my distance from people. There's not a lot of separation at that specific gig just because it is a smaller venue. It's a smaller bar. Whenever I leave to go get food or I'm not doing a set, I'll step outside. Or if I go get food to bring back, because you have to eat, I will wear a mask to whatever restaurant I'm going to.
They should have a runner for you.
That's all right there.
Somebody get. Where is the field? That's right there next to.
It's across from Murky Waters.
Murky Waters. I was
it's
gonna say
it's a little small bar.
Yeah, it used to be the Irish. Irish pub.
Yeah. And they had that like an American All USA theme or something there for a hot minute.
I think they did, yeah. And now it's the field sports bar. There's like 9 TVs in just the bar area. Then they have a back patio.
I liked it when it was an Irish bar.
It was cool. The bar was huge.
They had good Irish car
bar.
bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always intimidated to go in there because it looks small.
It is very intimate, and I think that's probably the best place that I could have started doing regular gigs because it really let me know that like being close quarters with people, they are receptive. So further away gigs are easier.
Quitskis. Have you played at Quitskis?
I have not.
Quitskis is like that. My niece's grandfather plays at Quitskis, and it's a really unique setup with a big V bar.
It's
but they
neat.
play at the window,
and they have mostly acoustic, right? I think that might be all they do.
Yeah,
primarily acoustic. But I play at the field, and then on Thursdays, every other Thursday, I actually play at the Wilbur, which is off of Porter.
Yeah.
I do that from 6 to 9 every other Thursday.
You are a busybody bee.
I am.
A busy bee-body.
This upcoming Thursday, I'll actually be there.
You ever do the Julep Room?
No, I have not. I've heard great things, but I feel like it's very small quarters and downstairs. So, like for COVID, it might not be the best place to
get old Kron here on the cajon with you.
Yeah, cajon is fun.
$2.75 an hour. That's
he doesn't have a cajon.
I don't have a cajon.
He'll bring the electric kid. He'll do blast beats in between your songs for you.
I'm really good at them.
I hear the Julep Room.
The Julep Room is awesome.
The spot. Like I've not ever been.
What?
Oh no! You gotta go.
Been.
It's like you're in the bottom of a ship.
I believe didn't the owner just open up a new venue in downtown Ocean Springs? I think it's called like the Blue Merle Bar. I believe she did. It used to be Dax.
I know what you're talking about.
But it looks like a cool spot. They have nightly acoustic.
I'm sure I'll learn about it.
You gotta go
moving
to
Julep
Julep Room. Holy shit!
I do, yeah.
So I'll have to
check it out.
It's very. Are you claustrophobic at all?
No, not really.
I am very claustrophobic, and I get nervous in there because you got to go down underground.
You're in the corner though.
The Julep Room?
You're claustrophobic?
I'm very claustrophobic.
But you're in the corner
here? No, but this is a big open space.
No. Look. Let me explain.
So close quarters, isn't it? It's small space.
Let me explain my phobia to you.
Okay.
So I know if there's a fire or a missiles coming down at this, because that's what I think about. I got a problem. It's a mental thing. I can get past him.
Okay.
And I know that door is right there.
Gotcha.
And I did feel a little weird at first but there's a gap right here, so I can get out. Hey, We talked about this in the last episode. You ever been to St. Louis?
I haven't. One of my best friends is from near there, though.
The Arc, right? The famous Arc. You can go up in there. You can go up to the top of the Arc. I'm not lying. It's a tourist thing. You can take a little pod and go up to the Arc. I talked about this in the last one. And they fit 5 people in a pod.
Oh, no.
And it's your knees are touching all 5 people.
Did you have a breakdown?
Yeah, I freaked out. And then I got to the top.
But you got in there willingly, or is that when you discovered?
Well, you pay like $7 or whatever and get in there with a bunch of tourists with fanny packs. And I got in there and I put my head in my shirt and I'm flipping out because there's no windows. You're in an egg. It's like a circular egg. And there's 5 people. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your knees are touching. I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
And it's panicky. So when we went down, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna live up here, and I'm gonna, if I can find a pistol, I'm gonna shoot myself in the face."
Oh my
gosh. Because I'm so afraid of getting back in that pod. Like I was sweating. I couldn't even take pictures. I didn't care.
So did you know you had claustrophobia before then?
Yes.
So and you still chose to go in,
right? Because
with 4 strangers.
I was with some people, and they're like, "Come on!" And I'm trying to be cool, you know. I'm trying to like act like I'm normal. So when we go back down, I stopped everybody from coming in my pod, and I was like,
just you?
I said, "Hey guys, the pod's full," and they're like, "No, it's not." And then the little worker is like, "Hey, we got to get 5. We got a lot of people up here. Like we got a system." We got to load up every pod.
They should have just let you go down.
I said, "Hey, guys, you're not loading up this pod. It's full. I have a thing. I have a problem." They're like, "Yeah, we don't care. We're loading up this pod." and they're very persistent about it.
Yeah.
And I got in the guy's face. I was like, "Look, I know you got a job to do, but I'm in a situation. There's nobody else getting in this pod. Get the hell away from the pod." And I pushed everybody back. He's like, "Sir, you signed the thing. Like, we got to fill this pod up, or the next pod's gonna be over. Like, we're gonna be backed up because there's people. It's a train." I didn't let anybody in the pod because I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna fight you right now, and I'll happily go to jail because jail, I'm cool with that, right? It's not like closed. Well, it's kind of a closed space, right?
It's pretty
but
small.
It's not small. It's not small. And there's bars. You can stick your hand through.
He's
the
okay
bars.
in a jail cell.
I've been in a jail cell.
But not on the egg.
Right.
The egg is a no.
Well, it's curved. It comes around your head like that. And it's like, and I was.
That's how I feel in airplanes because it's curved.
Yeah, I feel bad in airplanes.
The top curves and I feel,
At my job, when I go to the elevator and like 6 people are in the elevator,
do you have to stand by the door?
No, I hit the open button. I'm out. Like I'll wait for the next one. I'm not doing it. 1 floor. I can't do it.
So rude.
I freak out. I'm sorry. I got a problem. If there's a pill, give it to me.
How have you done in COVID?
I think I've done well.
Have you felt claustrophobic?
No. Can't say that I have. That was a lie. I went into Walmart. It was one of my first outings to Walmart. And I think I was the most anxious I'd ever been in my life because people weren't wearing masks. And they would say over the intercom, "All of our Walmart personnel and shoppers, make sure that you're wearing the COVID mask, blah, 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 blah." People don't care. And I had my daughter with me because most of the time I take her grocery shopping with me. And people would come up and still want to look at my baby in the middle of a pandemic. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Get
what do you
away.
say? Like,
Yeah, it's like you just need to put your mask on.
Normally I just walk
back
away
up.
and pretend like I don't hear them. I know that's rude, but I'd rather not have it be a thing.
right.
You know?
Right.
Because if they like are running up
yeah,
behind
if you got
me
an
and they're like,
8-month-old,
"Oh,
I mean,
baby."
don't come up on the 8-month-old without a mask.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's one of those things where I either go to the grocery store with her or I wait until after Nevin gets home at 6:30, then go to the grocery store, get back, and we eat dinner by 10. So like some things you do have to do. So it's one of those things.
Productive or not productive?
Very productive. It has been very, very productive. So the crazy thing for me though, I was on maternity leave whenever COVID really kicked off and quarantine started. So it felt the same as maternity leave because at my work I was working full time at People's Bank, and they're great. But they
were the ones that donated the check last night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
amazing. I
amazing.
think it was like $3,000 to the Jenna Robinson charity.
Their charity is impeccable. I mean, they do it all the time. They have different ones throughout the year.
But
they were doing like a 2 weeks on, 1 week off. So honestly, my maternity leave kind of flowed into the pandemic. So I didn't even realize it was really a thing, if I'm being completely honest, until about 2 months later, and people were wearing masks in restaurants, and I was very confused because I had been walking around my neighborhood every day, recovering from surgery with my newborn, and I had no idea that it was anything.
I can slightly relate to that because we were working from an office right before COVID, and then right before COVID, they're like, we need you to work from home.
Yeah.
And then COVID was like, okay, we got to take COVID serious. Whole company, work from home.
And see, and that's the crazy thing. You don't realize that it's like, you understand that it's happening, but you don't, I don't know. For me, it didn't register that it was everybody. I thought, oh, everybody's on maternity leave now. Like, no, people are dying.
You're not the only one having babies, Bri.
Oh, I know that. But you're asking me my experience with COVID, so that's the beginning of my experience.
How many songs have you written since the pandemic has been officially happening?
Officially?
57.
About 5.
Yeah, really?
That's pretty good.
About 5.
At first, I thought it was very productive. Once it was like everybody go home, shelter in place, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get so much shit done. I'm like fucking making music videos and fucking writing songs. Like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. We I think we did like probably 2 music. We probably recorded like 2. We filmed probably 2 music videos. They haven't come out yet. I haven't like gotten around to fit them, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna debut them on here eventually. But at first, it was very productive. And then as it kind of like tapered off, and everyone's like, because the levels and the spikes, and then it's just like, everybody just chill. And then I actually got it, and then I was sick for like 3 weeks, and then I was fine, and then I'm like, oh, let's get back to being productive.
Wow. So you actually experienced it.
I did, to a degree.
Okay. There are some people that I hear have milder cases. They're not as aggressive.
That was my brother.
And it depends on,
My brother had a very mild case. He tested positive, but he didn't have all the symptoms that I had. And I want to say, I think one of the things that it came down to was the exposure. I forget what's the viral load,
the strain
that you expose. So like if you're around someone who's been exposed to 3 people that have it, then your symptoms increase. But if you've been exposed to one person that's been around one person that's had it, then maybe your symptoms are milder.
Gotcha.
I don't know, I'm just guessing here completely. But the difference between me and my brother having it was he had almost completely no symptoms other than like maybe a slight fever and muscle aches. And then I had everything listed on the CDC website. I'm just like, crazy. What the hell? I'm in poor health. I'm going to die. Not really, though.
Bri, do you have a prediction for how this whole virus thing is going to play out?
I don't. I really don't. I have some family in healthcare. My mom, she's in healthcare. My stepdad, also healthcare. And they don't, I don't want to speak for them, but I don't know. I heard in Europe they're having their second wave, and
I heard that's going to happen at Thanksgiving.
Well, it's supposed to happen when it gets colder because there's always going to be a second wave. It's like when the flu is worse in the winter.
Right.
More people get it in the winter because you don't have.
They stay inside and they cluster.
And I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical professional, so I don't really know.
We're not scientists.
No.
Disclaimer.
Well, I'm actually a doctor, so.
But
doctor
I don't.
Of what? What's your doctorate in, Phil?
I'm a doctor of knowledge.
He looked like. So I'm old, but there used to be a show called Miami Vice. And last night, this guy looked like he was off of Miami Vice. I wish he would have had like a pink shirt on with like the V-neck or something, or a light blue shirt. It would totally have been so 80s, like straight up Miami Vice for him.
I don't know what he's talking about, but there was a late 40s woman that aggressively pursued me at Juke Joint, and she kept grabbing me and assaulting me, and I enjoyed it, and I let it happen.
All right.
But
I don't know. I've never seen Miami Vice, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Miami Vice, you are missing out. It's like Dexter in the 80s.
Dexter's cool.
Like
we stopped
Dexter.
watching it after his wife died.
I haven't gotten that far.
Oh, well.
I'm only on
Spoiler!
season 2.
Well,
Don't spoil.
spoiler alert.
I'm only season 2. But
well, sorry.
it's I started watching it.
You see it coming.
My wife is like, "This is like a soap opera." She doesn't watch it; she just hears it, Yeah. And she's like, "Why are you watching a soap opera? What is this soap opera you're watching?" I'm like, "It's not a soap opera. He's a serial killer and he kills other murderers."
It's a soap opera, but with blood.
It is
More blood, like graphic blood.
Yeah, but with a good cause.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I've had enough whiskey, and I can say this. But if I had the money, this is what I would do.
Here we go.
I feel like this is not going to be good.
And I've thought about this. I would say, well,
call the police.
What I was going to get at was, why can we not work that into the legal system, right?
No.
And just let them, cancel each other out. No, because
No, I mean murder's still wrong.
I think that there's some, crimes.
So are you a fan of the death penalty then?
I think that there are some crimes that warrant, that, and level of.
Okay.
Because we will quickly go on a very down note.
First of all, I want to make a disclaimer
before I start talking about killing.
I want to make a disclaimer. No one should ever ask Mitchell about these issues because these are not. He does not have a normal outlook on.
Okay, this is what I will say. Before I was a parent, before I became a parent, I would watch these crazy fucked up movies, all kinds of movies like that, with my wife. And after becoming a parent, my wife still watches Dateline and all these shows where fucking the worst of the worst happens. And I could no longer watch them.
It's terrifying.
I can't. I don't want to stay up all night, nightmares, worrying about the shit that could happen. And I don't want to watch, that, especially the Dateline stuff where this is what's happened in real life. This is what one real person did to another real person. The movies I can, like Dexter, I can still kind of watch the fantastical, soap opera stuff. But, it's like the Dateline stuff I do not want to participate in having to process.
But you don't think Dexter has desensitized us in a way? Because I really feel like we are a product of what we view and what's around us, what we surround ourselves with, to an extent. It doesn't define you, but it does influence you.
The amount of the intensity of protection that I feel for my children, I don't feel desensitized at all.
Okay.
Because it's in my face. Like every time I turn my phone on, it's in my face. This many kids were found. This many kids.
Yeah,
this many lawsuits are against the church for abusing
that one's crazy. That
children.
one gets me.
And that stuff it's every day. It's like what did I see the other day on Facebook where they were like, it was a meme and it was saying the crazy shit that you're seeing, it's not anything new. You're just being
you're just seeing it because we have access to it because of modern day media.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's all being condensed into a streamlined feed. Where before it was kind of scattered about. You didn't see the news in California unless it made national.
Yeah.
Or you didn't see what the serial killer in
now
Colorado
we have Google.
did. Yeah,
just look it up.
It's in your you open Facebook and it's in your face. And as a parent, it's I'm just very, very defensive and I'm just very, very protective, and that stirs up emotions and
Mitchell's ready to fight at a moment's notice. I'm convinced of that. I feel like he's so strung up. He's ready to throw hands at any moment with anybody to the death.
I think when it comes to children, the excuse for being too there's no excuse for being too overprotective of your children, just because of there's constant threats, and this is something that everybody can even feel. Even he's got a dog, but if he opens up his Facebook, he sees constant things in his Facebook feed of, this kid got abducted, this kid was found dead, all these things that can happen. And I'm sure, I don't know if you can relate, but you just feel that overcompensation need to, protect them.
Definitely. I try not to look at that stuff, though. I try not to look on Facebook for that specifically.
I know. Yeah. I shouldn't have brought up Dexter.
She's reasonable.
I like Dexter.
Oh, I do too.
I feel Dexter's in the right.
I feel like he's messed up.
There was a fork in the road.
I'm only on season 2. I haven't decided yet.
We could have went left. We could have went right. We took the dark path.
We did.
The fork in the road.
We did.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do another song.
On that note.
Yeah. You got any songs about death?
No.
Something bright.
Not my MO.
Something bright, please.
Okay.
And get Mitchell in a different state, and we'll be good to go.
As we walk through fields of love, we often forget that it's not always sunny. Though the clouds may turn to gray, we often tend to stay, because when we are happy, life is good. For the first time in a long time, we're understood, even for a short time. When you find someone to hold, try not to squeeze too tight for fear of suffocation. If you find your grip too loose, prepare yourself to lose your newfound adoration. Then hurt ensues, even though you tried your best. What's there to lose but the fear of missing out? When love chooses to walk away and you're lost for words to say how you are truly feeling, try to search for who you are while you wear well your scars and your heart turns to healing. And know you're good, and you've always been that way. Misunderstood by the love that walked away. Maybe someday you'll find the love that stays. You'll find the love that stays. You'll find the love that stays.
Woo!
Every time.
every time we're gonna do that.
Every time. I mean, your voice is, I don't have to, tell you, but your voice is so solid.
Thank you.
It's just instant.
Thank you.
Tattoos.
Yeah.
You used to work at a tattoo shop.
I did. It was a really great experience. I learned a lot about myself. I was a piercing artist. Met some interesting characters.
You pierce little kids' ears all day?
We were actually in the process of getting that going. I really wanted to be able to provide that, but state of Mississippi doesn't allow it. So it's not like Alabama or Louisiana where
doesn't allow what?
Piercing minors, like, at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you have to work at Claire's to do that?
Yeah, Claire's did it.
Well, so in the state of Mississippi, tattoo shops are considered to be an adult industry. So if we were to perform any type of piercing, body modification, tattoo, anything, we could be registered sex offenders if somebody
What?
found out. Yeah, like the health department's just very strict. They're a little behind everywhere else. I definitely feel like getting your kids' ears pierced at a tattoo shop is a lot more it's safer, it's more sterile.
Absolutely.
There's less trauma for sure. We actually took my sister to get her ears pierced over in Daphne, Alabama at the Belrose Tattoo by Erin Victory. I think it was for her 7th birthday. And it was a great experience for her. She like got her feelings hurt because, you know, it does hurt, but she was perfectly fine afterwards. You know, it was crazy. She was like a little adult about it. It was awesome. But she, if she would have gone to Claire, she would have had a totally different experience. It hurts a lot more. It's sore afterwards.
They just use the gun thing, right?
Yeah, and it's terrible because they're using that blunt piece of jewelry.
What do you use?
A hollow needle.
And you do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, you just take the ear, set it up.
What's different?
What do you mean? Like with the gun,
like
or
with the gun? Because I've seen there's a compilation video where all these kids are getting their ears pierced with the gun, and it looks incredibly painful.
It's brutal.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
But when they do it with the needle,
it's less like, trauma to the tissue. Yeah, it's less trauma, especially especially if you're doing it. If somebody's doing it that's really experienced, they've done it for a long time. Getting it done by a professional is so much better than getting it done by someone who works retail, because retailers aren't licensed piercers. That's not to say that, you know, I hate on people who do that. They're just doing their job. They're doing what they were hired to do. You know, like if a kid walks in on your shift and you're required to pierce a kid's ears with a gun, like you have to do it. You get paid to do that. And if you refuse, you know, it's hard. But no, I recommend all day doing it in a shop. But Mississippi just isn't quite caught up to that yet, unfortunately. But it's, you know, I'd much rather take my kid to a tattoo shop than
absolutely
Claire's.
Mississippi's behind in a lot of things.
It is.
Well, you pierced other things, right? Like,
yep, mostly ears though. I liked doing curating on ears, but ears, noses, septums. I did a lip, philtrum, lots of different stuff. Eyebrows. It was fun. It was a really cool time. Yeah. But ears were probably my favorite because you have a lot of pressure points in your ears that people don't know about that can benefit your health. Like if you have a certain pressure point in your ear, that's why there's this one called the Daith or the Doth, depending on how you pronounce it. It prevents migraines or can help subside them.
Did you do a lot of tongues?
No, I actually never did one.
Really?
Yeah, not my thing. I don't like the idea of putting my hand in somebody's mouth. Also, if you screw it up, you could potentially cause someone to nearly bleed out because you have.
Can I tell you a short story?
Yeah.
I bled out and get my tongue pierced one time in Mobile on Dolphin Street.
Did they take it out, or did they leave it in after they pierced you?
So let me tell you. Calm down. Calm down. So.
What was the motivation for this?
I got my tongue pierced.
Yeah.
Late at night, I was drunk. I wasn't drunk. I was drinking.
Also, that's harmful.
That's what I was told.
You're not supposed to be.
You can't have anything in your system.
I had a lot of that. You're not intoxicated.
I was intoxicated.
Yeah.
So she stuck the thing. She had a thing right here at the top of my tongue, right? And first of all, I got a thick tongue. I can barely talk. What's it called? The frenulum under your tongue or whatever.
I'll look it up real quick.
It's bad. Don't worry about it. Don't look it up. X-rated stuff will come up. She stuck the pin in my tongue. Had a thing to stop it on top of my tongue, and then put the barbell behind it.
Yeah, pushed it through.
And I woke up on the floor with people fanning me. I passed out.
Had you eaten?
I don't know. I passed out when I got my tattoo on my leg. I passed out a lot.
Okay.
I've passed out like 80 times in my life.
You might want to get that checked.
Are you going to lift your leg up so we can all see the tribal tattoo?
Yeah, in a second. We got to build that up again. So anyway, she's like, "Oh, you got to do this, this, this," and I think she was drunk.
Oh no.
And she's like, "You got to do this. You got to care for it this way. You got to put this on it and take this cream and put on it, whatever." Well, anyway, it got infected. It was really bad. It was a bad situation, and I talked worse. I already talked bad, but I talked worse with it, and I eventually took it out. But that was like one of the worst nights ever.
I believe that.
Because I was in so much pain for like 7 days afterwards. And I finally linked up with a piercer
Mm-hmm.
from I can't remember the name, but it was some tattoo shop on the coast, and they're like, and I told them my experience, and they're like, yeah. And they looked at it and they're like, yeah, she totally hit the wrong spot.
Mm-hmm.
She hit a nerve or vein or whatever she hit.
It's probably too far back.
I bled for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it's not how that's supposed to go. That's why I said that. I'm sorry. I don't know where I was going with that.
I just want to know what the motivation was for you getting a tongue pierce. I mean, typically it's girls, right?
So me and Chris played a show on Dolphin Street. We were playing this metal show, and we were like, dude, let's get a tattoo on our face. You know, we were like, you know, one of those nights. You
like Mike Tyson?
You know what I mean? I was like, let's get a tattoo. Let's get some like teardrops and shit. Like, let's get gangster with this stuff, man. We're hardcore dudes. And he was like, man, there's a tattoo shop right there, bro. So we went over there, and we didn't have any money, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like $65 special or something to get your tongue pierced. I was like, let me get a tongue pierced.
That's actually was pretty cheap for over there.
I don't remember the
That's
exact
like
number, but it was close because I didn't
right?
have much money. So I went over there and got my tongue pierced, and I was like, I'll get my tongue pierced. And then Chris got a tattoo, a really bad tattoo.
Naturally.
Sorry, Chris.
Does he have multiple bad tattoos or just one?
No comment.
Do you have multiple bad tattoos?
I have one bad tattoo that I passed out on.
On your calf?
Yep. You want to see it? You want to see
Do it.
I passed out.
Get it up on the camera.
Here, let's do this. Look. Hang on.
There's the... That's the classic Mike Tyson tattoo,
Tribal.
but not.
I saw it on the wall, and I was like, dude, I'll fight everybody after I get this tattoo. Like, I'll be the coolest dude on the block. And she's doing the outline.
Were you envisioning a boxing career?
She's doing the outline on me, and I started like my face. She's like, hey, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm sweating. It's so hot in here.
Did you eat before you got the tattoo?
Probably not. I was drinking. Again, I was drinking.
Man.
Downtown, the best decisions are made.
I was on whatever Main Street, the main street in Denver was. No, Colvax or whatever in Dolphin. Or not. You're messing me up.
No, Dolphin's the main street.
This was in Denver. This was in Denver. She's doing the outline, and she's like, your face is really white.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I don't know. I feel kind of funny. And then once again, I woke up on the floor with people fanning me, calling 911 and shit, thinking I'm dead. And the tattoo lady's laughing at me. And that was my last tattoo. I was 18 years old. 34
Was it
now.
your first and last?
First and last. I've never gotten a tattoo since then.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty positive. I can't give blood because I pass out. It's a problem. If there's a pill, give it to me. I'll take it. You know what I mean?
What's this tattoo about on your
elbow? That thing is incredible.
It is beautiful, and I feel that you are going to get it colored in.
I am. So I got this, if I'm being honest, a week before I found out I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant early on, though, but I didn't know. And Mitchell Wheatus, he's at Twisted Anchor Tattoo. He's amazing.
Mitchell who?
Mitchell Wheatus, Widas. He's great. He's really cool. He's an impeccable artist. I went to high school with him, and we didn't know each other in high school because his art teacher told me to stay away because...
What?
Well, she just didn't want me messing with him. I just wanted to be buddies, but she said no, so I didn't do it. But we ended up becoming really good friends. He came to my baby shower. He's great, though, so we couldn't color it in.
I have heard good things about Twisted Anchor. My cousin,
there's great artists in there.
Him and his wife get their tattoos from there, and I was planning out a full sleeve. Yeah, and this is a great segue actually, because the full sleeve I was planning out has to do with family history.
Yeah, very cool.
So I was creating the sketches and everything, and talking to him about because they go to tattoo conventions in Chicago and Colorado every year to finish getting these. They have to be this one person that does it. And anyways, I was talking to him about it and anything, but he was like, yeah, you should check out Twisted. They could probably get into the detail that you want to get into, just like your elbow here. And
a lot of this extra filigree he hand draws based off of anatomy and just how it'll
fit. Is
fit.
that Mardi Gras beads down by your wrist, or?
No, those are pearls. So I have pearls on my thigh. They're not Mardi Gras beads.
What are the pearls symbolism?
Just pearl, just a thing.
Look at that. I did not connect.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they were Mardi Gras beads, but they're not.
She wore a pearl, and there are pearl tattoos on her arm.
Well, it looks almost as good as my tribal tattoo on my calf.
By far.
Tribal.
Then I paid $84.
Really?
Exactly $84
for that.
Yeah. Why, is that too low? Is it too high?
No. I mean, I have a.
Say something goofy about my tattoo.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything goofy. I was gonna say like
I
paid twice as much for that on the one on my back, which was,
yeah, you got
requiring detail.
The angel wing.
But yeah.
You got an angel wing.
What's that
one.
really?
That's cool.
It's of yeah.
You can't fly with one wing.
That's the whole. It's a whole thing. It was a
I have
whole
a
thing.
Wu-Tang tattoo.
Do you have a Wu-Tang tattoo?
I do.
What?
Is it in a place where you can show us?
No, it's on my ribs. It's next to some teeth that I have, and it's done in the same style, so it just looks like another tooth.
That's gangster.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's
I
awesome.
like it. Yeah.
That makes me happy. Wu-Tang. Do you want to do another song?
Yeah,
Let's
sure
do another
can.
song.
What's the song about?
Oh, this one I wrote back in 2016, and it's just another one about a friend.
Close friend. Have you seen any of the Howard Stern episodes where he's got the bands on, like Metallica and Foo Fighters?
Honestly,
and
haven't.
It's really awkward. It's really awkward when he's like, "What's this song about? You've made." You're what? You're 5 million. What are you? You're somewhere up there. He's talking to these millionaire, songwriter bands. Dave Grohl and Metallica. Yeah. And what's this song about? What's this song about? It's like, it doesn't connect. Yeah. Like I feel like coming from one musician to another, when you ask that question, it holds more water.
Yeah,
because
I can see that.
With Howard Stern, he's just like a radio personality.
Mm-hmm.
With you're trying to run the gamut of all everybody who's from a movie celebrity.
That's fair.
And now he's got these bands coming on.
Yeah,
and I'm just like kind of cringing, like when getting into sincerity of what is the song about? Because I would say probably a good portion of the people that watch this are musicians that we know or that are friends with.
Yeah.
You and Phil. So it's like that there's a reference point.
Fair. Yeah. No, it's just about a friend. Like most of my songs are, they're just based off of interactions with them or how they look. I get a lot of derivatives from like people's appearances. That's big for me because I like creating that scene. Yeah.
People's appearances, like how you interpret them, or
no, just how I write about them in song. So I can actually show you with this one.
Okay.
Yeah. You're droll and you're droll, and you lift up my soul, and we sing to the God of the sea. Your kiss and your touch that I crave so much continue to beckon to me. The touch of your hand makes me wanna dance. Will you swim through the lilies with me? Let's make love to the sound of the sea. Why won't you let me do as I please, so that I can see what you mean to me? I don't think I'm ready to give you all that you need. your locks of pure gold that I long to hold. Awaken a fire in me. Your long slender frame puts willows to shame, and you move with the course of the breeze. Take your time falling for me. Why won't you let me do as I please, so that I can see what you mean to me? I don't think I'm ready to give you all that you need. And we sing to the God of the sea. Will you swim through the lilies with me? And you move with the course of the breeze. Take your time falling for me.
Woo! Yeah! No, that was one of the ones you played at the ballerina ball. Yeah.
Sure was. Yep.
Really nice.
Thank you.
Really nice. Really nice. Holy shit.
Okay, can we talk about the Croatian Connection?
Yes. We can.
Finally.
Finally.
I've been dying.
You've
all
hinted
night.
at it a couple of times, yes.
Because when you showed up, you're like, yeah, the itch and
the itch, yeah.
I got the itch.
The itches.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about your Croatian? Because this guy over here, he's always
I'm gonna sit
like,
back. I'm German. I'm German.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
we got the Croatian sensation on tonight. Blah, 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 blah. And
don't y'all just like eat cheese and wine all day like at 10 a.m.?
He gets upset when I impersonate him like that.
My name is Bri. Okay. So yes, I do. I literally made a breakfast bagel yesterday, and I put like Parmesan Reggiano on it because I'm insane.
Do you take naps?
Yeah, I take naps. What does that mean?
See, he knows. That's why he spit that up.
That's Italians.
The Italians, they take naps and like
siestas.
Yeah.
When I went to Italy, everything was closed, like 1 o'clock to like 4 o'clock. Yeah, I couldn't go to the bank to exchange money.
Because they take naps, they lay down and drink wine. Is that what they do? That's what I heard. That's what I read on TripAdvisor.
They're doing something between 1 and 4.
Probably grocery shopping.
Not being open.
What do they do? What do they do?
The Italians and Croatians. We're talking about Croatians, not Italians.
Whatever you want to. Yeah.
Croatians don't take naps. Nothing's closed between 1 and 4 o'clock in Croatia.
They're just hard workers.
Yes. Tell us about your Croatian connection.
Yeah. So my family came over. My dad honestly knows a lot more about it than I do, but we came over. I think the first member of our family came over late 1800s, like 1892, I want to say, something like that. Then the rest of us came over like 1926-ish, depending on. It was like a domino effect, I think. And yeah, we just, with all of the other itches and all of the other Croatian descendants, we kind of helped industrialize seafood down here. Mm-hmm. It was a big thing. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather was president of the Slavonian Lodge for a hot minute. My dad goes to the Thursday night meetings my grandma used to make, or my mama is what I call her.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Whoa.
Yeah, you should. But she used to make like pushratas and stuff in the kitchen all the time. I think my Aunt JoJo might still do that. I know my Uncle Forrest, he goes. My cousin goes. He's my age, and he's taken up going on Thursdays. But it's definitely a rich culture down here, especially in the Biloxi area. Mm-hmm. But it ranges from Ocean Springs to Long Beach, I'm pretty sure now. I think there are some in Long Beach.
And
I have a question.
This is where your question was earlier.
So this is always interesting to me. Why did the people in Croatia during whatever time they came over here, pick this spot to settle?
He can probably tell you more about it, but like I said, I think it's just with the seafood that I mentioned, I think it's just they were familiar with that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, that's how they made their money?
At least my family. I mean, they were next to port cities, that kind of thing, but correct me if I'm wrong.
With availability of work. So, so earlier before the podcast started, I said I was going to give you the example of my family, which was my great-grandfather came over, and he arrived in the port of New Orleans, which he stayed at for some period of time
on a boat.
He snuck onto a steamboat illegally, and the story is that if you snuck on a steamboat and they found out that we're going to America, what the fuck are you doing on here? You didn't pay a ticket. Right. They're going to throw you over the side. That was typically the response.
Holy
they
shit.
Throw you over the side and you sink or swim. Anyways, they decided to keep him on. You shovel the coal until we get to America, and then you get the hell off. And so he gets to New Orleans, and he gets off the boat, and he's working his way around, trying to find work in New Orleans. And what would happen is they would hear about these communities, and the communities of where there would be a concentration of other Croatians. So a hurricane had just come through and devastated Mobile. And they're like, well, we need workers over there. So if you want work, come to Mobile. So he's on his way to Mobile to go for work for hurricane recovery. And he hears about a community in Biloxi. And he's like, what? Okay. So he stops in Biloxi. Actually, he stopped in Bay St. Louis. And he stops in Bay St. Louis and eventually comes over to Biloxi, where he finds a larger community of Croatians, and then says, he doesn't end up going to Mobile, but he ends up staying in Biloxi, where he meets another Croatian, which ended up being my great grandmother, and starting a family with her.
Very nice.
And they met. It was, you were talking about the shrimp boats and stuff.
Yeah.
So they met in the shrimp factory camps.
Oh wow.
And then they eventually got a house.
See, my family had already been established, and the patriarch came over by himself. Then the full family came over. But that's amazing that they were two Croatians that came over, and they met here and started a family.
That was the other thing I was going to tell you. So like my great grandmother's father and mother, that's what they did.
Okay.
And he came over first, got the work here in Biloxi, and then he slowly brought them over. So when I started looking back at the records, I'm like, oh shit, this guy was like 12 years old when he brought him over by himself. Yeah. And then he brought the mother over with a few more of the kids, which I believe they were daughters. And but it was a slow process bringing them into New Orleans. And then they lived in New Orleans all together in some house, and I tried to find the house, and then they eventually made their way over to Biloxi for more work because of the seafood industry.
Mm-hmm.
Makes total sense to me now.
So you're over here cooking, bratwurst and sauerkraut.
Oh yeah, I'm slapping kids, doing whatever German people do.
You're trying to escape the 20s and the 40s.
Drinking warm beer. Yeah. Yeah, it was a bad time for the Germans.
It's still a bad time for you.
Germans. But 23andMe said that I'm like 0.5% African. I'm like 3% English, but I'm like 90-something% German. Yeah. And there's actually my people. Not to rain on y'all's parade, because I love the Croatian people. They got a great soccer team.
They they do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they do.
They got a great rugby team too.
Yeah,
we can talk about that.
Big of a fan. I love that Croatian soccer team though.
Yeah.
We can talk about
was that not awesome? What was it the few years ago when they went to the?
Are you gonna mention the Ghana game?
No, I was just going to say how the country, I don't know how your family was, but my family was receiving photos from our relatives over there, and everyone's just
I don't think we have any over there
celebrating at the ports. I mean, the ports were just like completely maxed out with people, and everyone's going crazy in the streets, and they didn't come in first. but they're still.
This was last year.
They're like,
it was last year.
They got this far, and everybody's just fucking going crazy. And we're like, holy shit, my phone's like blowing up.
There was a lot of
photos.
local camaraderie about that with like the local Slovenian.
But the whole country. Yeah, well, I was there for at the lodge, and they were they were singing Croatian songs.
That's amazing.
And, watching the game up on the big screen and
very proud people.
just happy to get anywhere.
Very proud people. I wonder where Germany came in on that one.
So, Bri.
Mm-hmm.
Do you bring any of that to your songs?
I honestly don't think I do. Apart from, so I grew up hearing stories from my dad about him working. He's very big on, he's always reminded me like where we come from, how hard we've worked to get to where we are.
Right.
So I think a lot of his storytelling has inspired how I write. I do derive a lot of my attention to detail off of what he's done, and also in ways that my mom has told stories, and how she's kind of how we are with our family. Because the other part of my family, I'm Croatian, but then I'm also Italian.
Right.
So we're big in storytelling also. And so I do hear a lot of these super detailed accounts of growing up, working in the shrimp factories, hanging out with big family events, that kind of stuff. So I think that's a lot of why I write like I do in such detail, because I want to make sure I get everything in. I want people to actually experience the journey through a song.
Speaking of the Italian aspect of it, I think it's interesting, when I started going into the genealogy and the history, that you were talking about your family being from Split, and the history there is parallel with the Venetian Empire, because that area was ruled by Venice for 300 years. So there's, when I start looking at, records, you see all of these Italian names, right?
Yeah.
The O's, there's O's and H's all over the place.
Yep.
And they're intertwined.
They are.
For approximately that time period, they're just sending, constantly, these Italian ambassadors all over Dalmatia. And, it's no surprise.
Yeah.
But we were talking about earlier, oh, I'm 100% Croatian, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, but you're not.
You're not. You got some spice in there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You got some O's in you.
I think it's kind of impossible now, like, to have any type of 100% anything. I mean, we've just, it's not a thing,
Yeah.
Just own up to it,
Yeah.
Like,
say,
like
no.
old Phil over here.
What are you about to say?
23andMe.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy a boat and a big Viking sword after I saw my 23andMe, because I'm like, this is who I am. This is what I felt like I was. Like, I need to raid countries with a boat and get off and pillage the villages and do what they used to do. You know what I mean?
Maybe not all of what they used to do.
No, yeah, they did some pretty bad stuff.
We're
more civilized now, right?
Are you with that tribal tattoo? I mean,
dude, I'm a caveman warrior right now.
Bri,
yes.
Can you tell us what is in the pipeline? What do you have coming up as far as gigs, shows? What are you going to be releasing? What are you getting into here?
So, again, I have my every Wednesday at the field from 7 to 10. I have this upcoming Thursday. I'm going to be at the Wilbur off of Porter. And during Cruisin', Funke has its next show. It's going to be from 1 to 4 at Felix's. And that's going to be a fun time. So that's really what we have working so far. I think I'm also playing at Chandelier Brewery October 24th.
Really?
From 3 to 6.
Have you played there before?
I've not.
Is that solo?
It is.
We should do a live stream at one of these spots. Let's do a live stream.
That's up to Bri. and the venue.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of licensing things going on. We'll talk about that. I'm sorry. We'll talk about that.
I've
afterwards.
seen that. How has that affected y'all? Has that affected y'all at all
It's
with live stream?
It's going to destroy us.
I don't know. I've tested the waters with that, and I wanted to see how long it took Facebook's algorithm to shut it down if you're restreaming a copyright material. And it took like anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, because it just doesn't flag, And I was doing back-to-back songs, like basically I was just playing hip hop songs and trying to play drums to them.
Yeah.
But it would take like 10 to 15 minutes before Facebook would just like say this has been canceled instantly. If you feel that this is not correct, you can apply here for.
So I don't think I fully understand what's actually going on with it. What's the issue?
I'll tell you the issue. They don't want their platform to be used for musical entertainment.
No, it goes back to Spotify.
Right. So even you playing music right now, like even though they're your songs, they're gonna cut it.
Really?
What? No.
Absolutely.
No.
Yes. Any live music, 100%.
I thought it had something to do with like the monetization of live streams, like
so
linking a Cash App or something.
The copyright
like
song. So what people are doing is they're restreaming copyrighted songs, and when they restream it in Facebook, they're not getting a percentage. They're not getting their 0.0001 cent on the dollar.
That's not what it is. They're already.
I'm going back to the causation of what brought it up, and that is they're not benefiting monetization from the restreaming. So when you have podcasts like this and you got so and so playing a cover, well, that person who originally wrote the song's not making anything. So they're putting these in place to.
So is it just to protect the original artist or to protect themselves?
I think so. I think that's part of it.
Well, that's already a thing, because if we played, and this is a year ago, 2 years ago, if we played a 50 Cent song, right, just on our phones or whatever, they would mute that part.
Yeah, I know on YouTube, if there wasn't any type of like licensing, at least for a while, and you had a track playing on something, they would do some type of censorship.
That's all been corrected.
But now they're taking it to the next level and saying any music you play on a live stream, we don't want on our platform. That's what they're saying.
Bad example, but when he got married, I filmed it. I filmed the ceremony, and I couldn't, and this was just only a couple of years ago, I couldn't put the ceremony on YouTube. YouTube would not allow me to publicly for anyone to see the videos. Like I could send it to him privately, but because that the music was being played during the ceremony was copyrighted, YouTube's bot flagged that and said, no, you can't. I mean, it's a wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
And they're killing it. And I think I ended up having to go through was it Venmo? What's the one with the V?
Viveo.
Yeah, I had to go through Viveo to be able to show him the edited version of all the cameras that I had put together, just for him to see it, because I couldn't. Despite how many times I put it through YouTube, it would still kill it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
even with I do drum cover videos, I have to change the pitch of the song, and I tried to get past it that way, but even then. They started catching on to that, and they would mute I have 100 videos on my Instagram that are muted right now, that weren't muted for a year or two, and I would change the whole pitch of the song I was playing to.
Sounds weird.
Yeah, I know.
That does sound weird.
Just so the algorithm wouldn't catch it.
The algorithm is
smarter than me. Let's do another song.
Okay.
What's the song about?
Well, I would like to debut a song that...
Is this the one you wrote today?
I wrote today, but I want to do it at the end.
Oh.
So I kind of want to save that one.
Okay.
Unless you want me to do it now, I can do it now.
It's up to you.
No, this is your show.
You're the guest.
All right, I'm going to do it now.
Okay.
Sit real close for the fear of talking low. Talk real slow in fear of growing home. Talk of feelings, dreams, and all your aspirations, of where you come from and where you're headed to. Remember, we don't know what we need or when we need it, but we know what we think we want and we need it soon. Sit by me and talk of red streams, humor dreams of stars aligning. Ain't it funny how we both have our hesitations of getting close and getting hurt again? Remember how you held my hand that winter morning. We know what we think we want and what we have to lose. Walk with me, our future's changing, all our dreams rearranging. It's crazy to think that a little heartbeat changed all our dreams and make life feel complete. Remember our talks of what could be in store for us. Who'd have ever thought it'd be discovering love for the first time? For the first time. And from the first night, you were all mine. You were all mine, yeah. From the first night.
Yeah!
And that one actually finished today, about 4 hours ago.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, I started it the end of May, and I was just thinking about it today.
You should be pretty excited, man. She debuted that on your show.
Never before heard. Nevin hasn't even heard it yet.
So you know what that
He wouldn't let me play it for him.
Is he watching now?
He is
like,
watching now.
Is he?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it said, yep, watching now.
Very cool.
Nevin Apple
White. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. I was really excited about the song, and I was begging him to let me play it for him, and he said no. Don't.
Wow.
Just go debut.
So you know what that means, right?
No.
I own the rights to the song.
No.
No, he doesn't.
No, you don't.
I'll send you a check.
Thanks.
Yeah. Send you a 12-cent check.
Great.
I'm joking. I'm excited.
Nice. Yeah, it's awesome. And I think you haven't asked what it's about, but I'm going to tell you what it's about.
Please do.
The beginning of the first night Nevin and I actually hung out, we started discovering how connected we were through just association. Like, he took martial arts from my grandfather in 97, and our grandparents lived 2 blocks away from each other. I lived like...
Wait, your grandfather taught martial arts?
He did.
Who was your grandfather?
8 Winds Aikido.
Okay.
Yeah. But we lived like within 5 blocks of each other throughout my entire middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Middle school, early elementary school, and he was doing his thing, and we called them red strings. And so sit with me, talk of red strings, all our dreams, and stars aligning, that kind of thing. It inspired that. And then I started thinking about where the song needed to go, because forever I had just been sitting on those 2 verses. And I decided it was fitting to incorporate our daughter Rosie in it, because I feel like she really completed our story, at least the beginning of our story. So I wanted to really just pay homage to her and to him with the song. So it's neat. It's a fun song. I think it's my favorite that I've written.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The sentimentality.
Thanks. Yeah.
Man, that's a big word, dude.
That is a big word.
Holy crap! Spell that. I'll give you $100.
What she said the song was about?
Yeah, it's impressive.
Thank you.
Is this your first podcast?
This is my first podcast ever.
Really?
Yeah, I've never done one. Never.
How you feel about it?
Yeah.
I'm a lot more comfortable than I thought I would be.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
You're doing really good. You're doing better than us.
You're sitting across the table from
to what's the word? Wallabies.
I don't know. He's not Australian.
No, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
The songs sound great.
You're talking about she's making you look good by being on here.
Do I say you're welcome, or
he should be thanking you.
I
think this is really fun. That's a fun experience. Y'all are fun.
Yeah,
well,
it's really cool that your first podcast is with us, because this is a high end $1 million podcast.
Yeah, high level, very high level. No. But seriously, it's very exciting because to meet you just 1 week ago, and then hear you, and I'm like texting him and sending him videos of you recording. I'm like, you're not gonna believe this voice.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. It was Colby Calais covers.
I sent him the video, and he's like, yeah, we got to have her.
That's awesome.
Like, and then as soon as you got done, I'm like, can you be on a podcast next week?
All I had to do was land the babysitter, and we were good. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, I love conversing with other musicians who are parents.
Yeah.
Because I feel that it brings a different, perspective that I think a lot of like young musicians, they're not aware of. They're just trying to climb the ladder. They're just trying to get as many shows, and I did that. I was shows, performance, blah blah blah. We did like so many shows, and it's like But then after a while, it's like you get to this point in your life, and you're like, it takes a lot more to juggle. And I was like, you're a mom.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a band.
Mm-hmm.
You have your own thing going on. You work. I'm just like, this is someone I can definitely see bringing, into the conversation.
Yeah.
And talking about all of these aspects of life what requires it to, just for this to happen.
Yeah.
And I think people, when they realize this and they hear and they listen to it and when we talk about it, more appreciation. It's just not a beautiful voice that they're hearing, but they're like, oh shit, she had to do, 5 other things just to be on this, podcast with this guy, for 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, it takes that extra step, but it's for sure worth it. I feel like, especially in the last couple months, because I've not been doing this as long as most people down here have been doing it, and there are some amazing musicians. And if y'all are doing this again, I definitely have recommendations for sure.
True that.
But
True that.
I feel like the past couple of months where I've really started sinking my teeth into it, now that I'm only doing part-time stuff and trying to monetize my passion, it's been the greatest experience because I've gotten a lot of support, not only from my peers but from my family.
Can you talk about that a little bit, about the whole trying to find the path that allows you to support yourself by doing this art?
And I think so the biggest thing with it is that I started doing it because I wanted to be fulfilled emotionally and through like what I love to do, and then it turned into something where I could profit from it. I could help provide for my family. Because I stay at home most days during the week, so I'm not bringing as much in from like a 9 to 5 basis, but I wanted to be able to provide something. So if that means I get to go out, play 3 hours worth of music, and it's things that I like to play, of course I'm going to do that. And then it turned into something that is more than that. People started hearing me, and they started really liking what I had to offer. And it made me realize that it's something that I can take a long way if I put a lot into it, if I really just dedicate myself to it. And I'm trying to take it just one day at a time, looking forward to the next gig, You're not
trying to blow up like Britney Spears.
No. And that's my biggest thing. I don't care about making a bunch of money from it. I don't want to do any, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about like a fame aspect. I just want people to hear my originals and be impacted by them. Like, I really want people to feel something when they hear me sing. And not even just my originals, but the covers that I choose to do. Like, I want to take a song that someone is attached to and make them more attached to it. Like, I really want to touch people when they hear me play. That's my biggest thing. It's a bonus that I get to take home a paycheck for doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a push-pull struggle with the covers and getting paid for the covers versus playing the originals and getting paid for the originals where you're trying to...
Yeah, and I mean, the big thing with this, like with doing cover shows and doing the solo gig stuff, people want to hear your originals. And that's something that I've realized. I've gotten more requests for originals than I've gotten requests for cover songs. And that's been a crazy thing for me. Like, people actually want to hear what I write.
Well, they're good.
Thank you.
That's a big factor, because if they're not good, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you also have to have the voice to be able to carry it. You have to have a distinct voice.
Because I've been in bands where we had some originals and nobody requests.
You gotta have the little something.
Yeah.
Before we get to your last special song, you also have a side hustle.
I do.
Where you make high-end soap.
I do. I'm Tyler Durden of this era.
Tell us about your fight club.
Well, first rule, can't talk about it. But I will say the soap making aspect of it is great. I've gotten to network with some really good friends, good people. I have some soaps at Love and Aesthetic. I have some at the Orr O'Keefe Museum through Making Groceries and Lauren Turner. And then I just came out with some new coffee bars, and they're exclusive to Bright Eyed Coffee. They're only sold there. I have a light, medium, and dark roast, and they're the best people. They're so sweet. So yeah, next time y'all get coffee, you need to go in and...
I'm sorry, back up.
You need a Bright Eyed sponsor.
Wait.
Light, medium, dark roast. 3 different kinds.
So you have a coffee. Or are we talking about soap?
Coffee soap. There is a coffee drink named after me there, though. The Breeze, that's my coffee drink. That's mine.
Is that named after you, though?
It is. They named it about 2 years ago. They called it
That's
the Breeze because
awesome.
it's like the Me's, but it's the Breeze. I use that joke all the time. Nevin always like laughs at me and says, "Don't do that," but I do it anyways.
I'm drinking a Breeze.
Exactly. I'm drinking a Me's. So, but yeah, very sweet. They're awesome people.
I remember. Yeah, they are. They're really good people.
They're really very sweet.
You know them, fella. You said you know them.
I know them at a distant level. They don't know who I am, but
Phil knows everybody.
I know Katy Perry, Tom Cruise. I know
Colby Calais.
Colby Calais. Me and her are gonna be together.
I know.
If I get married tomorrow to the love of my life, and a week from then, Colby Calais was like, "Man, it's too bad you're married, because I would marry you right now. Like, I would."
No, don't say that. That's awful.
I'd take the previous wife out in the boat. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I'd take her for a picnic on a cliffside. I'm just saying. I'm a big fan of Colby Calais. So
I know you are.
If Colby Calais is searching the internet and she sees it,
she'll never see this podcast.
Just tweet it to her. Tweet her a link.
How dare you?
That is a good idea.
I'm gonna make a clip. I'll make a clip of this. I'll make a clip of this.
You should.
Hashtag I want to marry you.
She would like me. Why wouldn't she like me?
It's true. Why not?
Right?
Never say never.
I could play the.
She might have second thoughts after she sees that.
I could play the Kajan. You know.
Like, do you like Mike Tyson? Do you want to be Mike Tyson?
Can people order your soap online?
No, they can't. So
rude.
that's a neat thing. So you can. I don't have a website. I don't have a Facebook page for them. But you can private message me about them, and I will ship them to you
on your Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Very strategic.
Bri Rodolfich. But yeah, because they're made to order, so I don't have them just sitting around. Yeah. I have some at our house right now that we use that I have sitting around. So when we run out, but it's a lavender, honey, and goat's milk based soap, and it's one of my friends actually said that she tasted it, and it tastes pretty good too. I wouldn't recommend that because it's glycerin based, but why not? You know?
How do you make soap?
So the kind that I do is melt and pour because it's glycerin based. So I have these bumblebee molds. They're like silicone molds, and they have honeycomb and little bumblebees on them, some flowers with bees, and I do the honey layer first, and then I put the lavender and the goat's milk, melt it down, and I pour it.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Lavender and the goat's milk. Lavender is flowers.
Lavender essential oil, yeah, and I use dried lavender. Milk. It's just melt and pour.
Is it? You do it on a stove?
No, microwave. Yeah, no, I do it in the microwave because it kind of streamlines it, and it would just get stuck to the pan.
So the design of the soap. I wish you would have brought some with you.
I should have. I really should have.
The design of the soap, is it little like square blocks?
Yeah, they're rectangles.
Or do you do rectangle like a traditional like a zest? Is it rounded at corners or square?
It's rounded corners.
I don't like that. I like this sharp square.
Well, the coffee bars, they actually have the coffee grounds. So I do a pour over brew with them with their Brazil roast coffee. And I include the grounds from the brew in the bars. So it's double butter base with coffee.
Wait.
That's good.
Sorry. Mitchell knows that just...
I know a lot about soap and spirits.
Did you just say you put coffee in the soap?
Yeah. That's why it's only sold at Bri.
You put everything in the soap. You never had that soap where
so
it's got
confused.
it's got the wood chips and shit in it?
Yeah, but she was talking about she has her coffee and then she has soap and then she's like, I put the coffee in the soap.
Yeah. It's a great exfoliant. You can use them for shave bars for your face.
Yep.
I tell you what.
I dated this girl and she made soap. Her family mom made soap, but the soap was like it was like for spiritual stuff.
Okay.
Where it was like to entice spirits or warn off spirits and things.
That's cool.
Have you gotten to that point yet where you need to exercise or
I don't think that's my
with glycerine.
I don't think that's my no, that's not my MO on that one.
Well, I remember lavender was the go-to for all things good, because that's all I smelled was lavender. What in lavender, smells awesome.
It does,
and and I always enjoyed it, but I'm not sure if the science was sound.
I'm gonna order a bucket of soap from you.
Okay.
Lavender,
and we're gonna have it on the thing.
Yeah.
And I want the soap with the coffee.
The coffee?
Yeah.
Okay.
With a little bit of lavender.
Okay.
It's the rounded edges on it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not gonna poke me.
Poke you?
Yeah.
What shape is the soap? What are you doing with this soap? How's it gonna poke you?
You clean your body with it.
What are you cleaning that's gonna poke you? I think Bri wants to play.
I think it's a good segue.
I think Bri wants to play the song.
Bri, you're awesome. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to plug before we go?
I do want to reiterate that Funke is having another show coming up on the 10th of October from 1 to 4 at Felix's Oyster Bar and Restaurant. I have my regular gig every Wednesday at the Field in Ocean Springs, and this Thursday I will be at the Wilbur off of Porter.
Okay. And you got the band camp.
And I do have the band camp. The turnaround proposal is how you can look that up.
We'll post the link in the comments
awesome.
Of the podcast, and we'll send it off with Bri right now. Take it away.
I had waited so long to find someone like you, someone who lifted my sorrows and carried me through. But even you couldn't be the one I needed you to. The evenings and the hours spent laughing and smoking on whatever you had handy was what I looked forward to every time I came home. All you do is waste my time and keep me waiting for your call, and I can't even breathe without you near. When you come running back to me, I hope you realize what you do to my body, my soul, and my mind. Time together was envied by family and friends. I took so much shit for the time that I spent with you, and you can't bring yourself to care. But nothing else mattered, 'cause you were the one, and I was dumb enough to think that you were different than anyone at all. Now all I do is keep regretting the sex we had in the morning you left me, and I can't even breathe without you near. When you come running back to me, I hope you realize what you did to my body, my soul, and my mind. Your attention was all that I craved, but if you wanted me to be there, you should have told me to just stay. Your indifference pushed me far away. Now all we do is try forgetting what we meant to one another, and I can't even breathe without you near. Because of all the games you played, I can't help but wanna walk away from everything we once shared.
Yeah!
Yeah.
You heard it here live on KrohnKast. Bri, thank you so much for coming on and embracing the live podcast.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. It's
Yeah,
been fun.
thank you. That was awesome.
Especially for being the first official musical guest. Because we've had musicians on before, but they didn't, we didn't get into the whole play a few songs.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for sharing your beautiful voice and talents with us.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all inviting me.
We're gonna buy some soap.
Please do.
We're gonna monetize these videos, and we're gonna make $1 million.
Come to our shows.
Thanks, Mitchell Gruge, for being here. Thanks for dressing up.
Well, I had to. This was a very sophisticated.
It's the fancy podcast.
When you're drinking whiskey out of a wine glass.
And wine out of a wine glass.
Wine out of a wine glass and whiskey out of a goblet. And this is a very sophisticated, environment that we have here at the Krohn studio.
It sure is.
In Van Cleve. Are we in Van Cleve? Where are we?
We're in Latimer.
We're in Latimer. This is as sophisticated as you can get.
This is where the money is. This is where the money is. Don't let them fool you.
You see this glass? This glass is definitely from the 60s.
Thanks, Mitchell. Thanks, Bri. Episode 6 in the books. We'll see you guys at episode 7. Cheers.
Check out the turnaround on Bandcamp.
Yep. Thank you.
Check her out with the
Funky Getaway.
Funky Getaway. Because last week I was like, the Funky Getaway. And you're like, no. Funky
Getaway.
Get away.
Fun, comma K.
All right, and we're out. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Thank you.
Cheers.